Today's demonstration is about shading a tree with charcoal. You've already drawn your two trees. You should have drawn a winter tree like this one and a summer tree, a fall tree or spring, whatever you want to call it. All right? You learned how to draw a winter tree. What you're going to do is you're going to pick what side you want the light source to be on. I always like the light source on my right side. So that means that everything on the left side of this tree should be dark. So I'm going to take my compressed charcoal and smudge it over. Do all the vertical sides first so that you can maintain where the shadows are. Notice how I'm mostly leaving the right side alone because that's going to be my light side. But if you happen to get some charcoal on that side, that's fine too. I'm going to show you what you do. Now I still have some charcoal on my finger, so I can use that for the smaller branches. For the smaller branches, you might want to use your pencil. Your charcoal pencil is a little bit easier to get in those tight spots. See how I'm smudging the charcoal over everything that's on my left side or on the left leg side. My smaller branches are just going to stay a gray color. We'll go back to those. All my branches need to be done. Nature doesn't skip some branches, so you shouldn't either. Okay, so wipe off my hands a little bit. If you have a wet paper towel, that will help too. Just wipe off all the charcoal. Okay, now I'm going to you can use a blending pencil too if you don't want to dirty your fingers. I don't mind dirtying my fingers, so I just smudge with my fingers, but you can smudge with a blending pencil. Blending pencil is useful for the smaller branches. I forgot one over here, so let me show you. You can use the excess charcoal from this branch and transfer it over here. Okay. Now, if you do not have a topper eraser, for the smaller branches, the topper eraser is that little pink one that goes on top of your pencil. If you don't have any, please let me know because you can use, that's really useful for the smaller branches. This one is thin, so I'm just going to use this one and erase the charcoal that's on the smaller branches and get rid of this smudging that went outside the branch. I use my pencil to and use the kneaded eraser. Smudge it. And we use the eraser to get rid of this and make the highlight on the branches so you know exactly where the light source is on these branches. You don't have to press hard. Charcoal comes off really easy. See, even I just ran it very quickly over. And watch what I do here. And then definitely on this branch as well. We want to maintain a highlight so that we know what side the light source is on. They also want to do a little bit of charcoal on this side. This is good for your pencil. I'm doing it very, very lightly. I'm not pressing it at all. What this does, use the blender. What this does is makes the tree look three-dimensional. If you don't do that, the tree might look flat. So just do it a little bit. Not too much. To get that curve of the branches here. You don't have to worry about doing it quickly because you're smudging it anyway. All right. Okay. So that is your winter tree. What you want to do now is do the foliage that's on top. Now the foliage comes from the twigs, but you can have some that are in front of you because the branch is coming at you, so you don't see any of the branches. So you can have a bunch like this. I'm just going back and forth like a Z. Since this is a spring, this is going to be your spring tree. You don't want to put too much, or your fall. You don't want to put too many of those because it's spring or fall. You would see small clumps on twigs. So if you put a twig here, there should be a little bit of a clump here. It's better to do these foliage bunches with the compressed charcoal because it's thicker. Watch what happens when I do it with a pencil. You can do it, it's just going to take you a lot longer. See, I'm still doing that zigzag line. I found the zigzag line works better. Gives that sort of texture that you're looking for. All right, this works too. Depends on what you want to do. I like using the compressed charcoal. It's a lot simpler, and it comes out looking like foliage. I don't like when people do the loop-de-loop because then the tree, the loop-de-loop, which I'm talking about is this. It doesn't look realistic when you do that. The zigzag line seems to take on the attributes of a bunch of leaves together. So I would stick with the zigzag lines. All right, so because this is a fall or spring tree, you don't have to do a lot of them. But please make sure you go back and add some highlights to your leaves. The reason for this is because the sun is still shining. So you should have on the right side some highlights in your tree foliage. If your eraser looks like this, you know, I told you before, erase. Look at that. Okay. So make sure you go back and you erase it a little bit. Doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It's just to get you used to paying attention to where the light source is. All right. Let's try a clean eraser. There we go. See how there's white? That's what I'm talking about. And you just do a little bit on each one. That's it. Hop to it.